We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư lý khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đam Thô Sư Chế Đô Ye Ơ La Hơ Đi Sa Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tác Đác Tha Tô Già Đà Già A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jian an zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou qi, yuan jie Ru Lai Zhen Shi Yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, great Master Ching Liang, great Master YongHua, O good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、清凉大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位上智士、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thánh Lương Đại sư Hòa Thượng Tiên Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 5th of May 2024. We're here at Way Mountain Temple to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's a pleasure to be here with you. It's kind of cool. It's the first chapter of the sutra, and what it does is a kind of mind-blowing immediately. See, I admit to you, I am a Swiftie. I admire Swift, okay? And in spite of the fact she's older nowadays, oh my God, what do you mean, oh my God? I've been following her for all this time. They have expiration dates, you know? At first it was, what is it, Spears? What's it? Britney Spears, thank you very much. And now I graduated to Swift. Well, anyway, you see, these celebrities have expiration dates, let's face it, okay? But the people we're learning about in this chapter, they don't have expiration dates. We will expire before they ever do. Okay, they live for a long, long time, and they're hotshots, and they are role models in Buddhism. That's why the very first chapter of this most important sutra in Buddhism, they talked about these people immediately. They say, these are our role models. These are outstanding achievers in the universe. Okay? So it's kind of cool to go through this list. Okay, we're towards the end of the celestial kings of the fourth desire heaven, meaning here where we are is called the desire realm because our fulfillment is about pursuing our desires, okay? Fulfilling our desires. So this is the nature of our existence here, okay? We want things, and we're not happy until we get them, period, okay? And so that's why it's called desire realm. It's a kind of chaotic. But above us, there are 6 desire heavens. We went through this desire heaven number 6. This is where the heavenly demons reside. Okay. Next, desire heaven number 5. We are currently towards the end of desire heaven number 4. And next, we're going to go to desire heaven number 3. Okay, number 4, that's where Maitreya Bodhisattva is cultivating right now, waiting for it's time for him to descend from that heaven to our world and become the next Buddha. Okay, so this is that very heaven. So these are the verses we went to the representative 10, the 10 bigger celestial kings in that fourth desire heavens, okay? And now we're talking the verses that summarize the qualities of these of the learning and the nature of learning here. Okay, 572. In oceans of lands, numerous as motes of dust in the 10 directions, all beings flock to the Buddhas and congregate.
十方刹海为城树，一切佛所皆往集。
Okay, 573. These 2 verses, they say this. Buddhas are well known throughout the universe. Not just our world. Shakyamuni Buddha is very famous here in our Saha world, our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, or the Buddhists call it the Saha world. He's very well known here, but you don't realize he's also very well known throughout the entire universe. That's why the Buddhists call it the 10 directions. 10 directions represents everywhere. In all directions, okay? For the Buddhists, 10 represents infinite, countless, okay? And in the 10 directions, there are lands, oceans of lands, as there are just lands here represents galaxies or Buddha lands. Lands are short for Buddha lands. Every Buddha, when he becomes a Buddha, a Buddha land magically appears in the universe. One more Buddha land is added to the universe. That's why the universe can expand infinitely. It's mind-blowing, okay? Our minds are so limited, Andreas only knows about, what do you know? Altadena? No? Okay? We are so limited with our imagination. This is really mind-blowing. Oceans of lands. These Buddha lands, these galaxies are infinite. They keep on expanding. The universe keeps on expanding infinitely. Scientists don't know that. We know it. We heard it here. Okay? Now, as numerous as motes of dust, they're so infinite that in the Avatamsaka Sutra, this flower adornment sutra, you count in terms of motes of dust, okay? Motes of dust are very tiny dust particles, okay? Remember when the sun shines through the windows and you see the dust floating in the air, suspended in the air? These motes of dust here are even 1/7 smaller than what you can see in the rays of light. Okay, and so those most of us are so tiny, and they are numerous, as infinite as the oceans of Buddha lands in the universe. You see, it's really mind-blowing. First of all, the galaxies, the Buddha lands are infinite. And then within the Buddha lands, they're infinite most of us. So you have infinite times infinite. Infinite to the power of infinite, if you will. Isn't that cool? So the Buddhas are known throughout infinite number of lands. Okay? And the ear of the Buddha here, lecturing on the Avatamsaka Sutra, unlike 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of you here today, only 9, 10 of you here today, the infinite number of these big wigs flock to the Buddha and congregate, to gather together. This is the Buddhist Davos congregation. You know Davos? You don't know? God, you're so American. Davos, that's where the big shots congregate once a year in Switzerland. You don't know? And they plot how to build our world, fix a problem in our world. All the big shots, the most important people, they all flock to Davos. You don't know? Oh my God, your world is so small. So in Davos, once a year, the big shots like Bill Gates, like Warren Buffett, Zuckerberg, what's the Buffon in Tesla? There you go, that guy. Okay, of course I know his name. Okay, so all these big shots, they fly there, and they rub elbows with these people, and they talk and talk. And then small timers would try to get in and propose and projects to them and get funding, you see. And they talk about how to save the world, how to fix the ills of the world, and so forth. So Davos is very important, gathering of big shots, but not as big as these bigwigs in the universe. Okay? That's why they all flock to the Buddha. That's because that's where the important people, the power people have to gather. Okay? If you don't gather, then you are not part of the elite. Okay? And congregate. Congregate is me. They rub elbows. Okay? To do what? Yeah, next, to pay respects, make offerings, and hear the Dharma. Adorn banner perceives thus.
恭敬供养，听闻法，此庄严床之所见。
Okay, now, commentary slide 575. Remember, these are big shots, okay? These are role models, and we are hearing about them because we planted the seeds to be one day like them. Okay? We all go through this phase where eventually we become a big wig like them and then do the things they do. And so we're learning about these, it's called name dropping, and we learn about what they do. Okay? This is what big shots do. Okay? How they spend their time, how they justify their existence. Okay? So what do? These big shots gather, congregate to pay respects to the Buddhas, make offerings to the Buddha, and then hear the Dharma. And so see, to them, this is what they value. They travel from very far away to each Buddha land. Whenever the Buddhas spoke of the Avatamsaka Sutra, all around the universe, they gather, okay? To do what? To pay respects. and make offerings. They don't come empty-handed. Okay? Of course, they serve lunch. Lunch is served. Like here. Okay? So they make offerings. So this is the protocol. So this is what's important for these bigwigs. They say they realize in order to come so far away to see the Buddha, you pay respect, meaning you bow to the Buddha, okay? And then you make offerings, you give the Buddha something, whether it's whatever it is you want to give from your heart, and then you listen to the Buddha's instructions. The instructions would then become sutras that we learn later. Okay, so we are getting a peek and listening on what the Buddhas tell these people. All right? Adorned banner perceives us. So adorned banner is one of the celestial kings in the fourth desire heaven. That's what he saw himself. So this is what he verifies. By the way, the celestial kings are next in line to become Buddhas. They're no small people, okay? They're very, very big shots, okay? We don't get to see them. We don't get to talk to them. We're too small. We're too, we're like ants or microbes, okay? Or what's smaller than microbes? Never mind. And so these are next in line, okay? They're about, almost Buddhas, if you will. That's why they understand the state of the Buddha. For example, we have no business talking about the Buddhas. We have no idea. But these people, they're so close to the Buddhas, like they stand next to the Buddhas. Okay? So that's how he saw it. So he verifies it for us that it's not just what the Buddha tells us, but actually his disciples are verifying the Buddha's teachings for us. Okay? Next. Inconceivable is the ocean of sentient beings' thoughts without dwelling, movement, or a place to rely.
众生心海不思议，无住无动无依处。
Commentary slide 577. Inconceivable is you cannot possibly imagine, no matter who you are, how bright, no matter how smart you are, how bright you are, even if you are a genius, you cannot even imagine it. That's why it's called, this is a concept in this sutra, 不思议, inconceivable. There's no way for you to comprehend. Okay? So don't even try. Why? Because your mind is too limited. You need to use your true mind to really understand this. How do you get to your true mind? Do you have a true mind? You think you have a true mind? We all have a true mind. Okay? And that's why the sutra says, when you keep hearing this word, inconceivable, 不思议, inconceivable, bất khả tư nghị. What is it in Korean? Are you listening? How do you say that in Korean?
수 없는.
깨달을 수
수 없는.
Vietnamese, bất tư nghị. Yeah? Okay. So I need to learn this Korean. Is this in Korean? This is important. 不思议. That's Chinese. Inconceivable. bất tư nghị. And Korean? Okay. And so it says here that it's beyond your intellect. And what it means that there's something else called your true mind. Your intellect is called your false mind, which is limited. The true mind is unlimited. That's why, yes, young man, Cinco. Oh, happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone, today. Yeah. Yeah. Piñata later, we hit the piñata. Did anyone bring any piñata today? Oh, you guys are so boring. Yes, 5.
Is the personality contained in the true mind or the false mind?
Personality is part of your existence. So the true mind manifests itself through the personality as well.
So the personality is like the filter for the true mind to come through?
No. What happened is that the true mind and the false mind, they flip-flop a lot. So you cannot tell when. When you say, let me think, what is that? False mind. Very good. Okay? See, people say, let me think. Okay? Then what people are doing is that they activate the false mind because they have to use logic. Okay? But so how do you use a true mind? I just said that your false mind and your true mind, they flip-flop. And you don't realize it. Okay? It's on and off like the qubits. I'm not into bits anymore, I'm into qubits. Qubits is quantum computing. It's the next year. It's like last century is bits. Now we're into qubits. See, even Murali is impressed. Master is so knowledgeable with technology. Okay, so where was it again? So you don't know the flip-flop. So you don't know when your false mind is active, when your true mind is active. It flip-flops like this constantly. And you don't know that, none of you realize it. You're impressed, aren't you? You say, I have a true mind? Yeah, you have a true mind. So do you. You all have a true mind. It just flip-flops. So sometimes it's active, sometimes it's not. And you cannot tell. That's what's so cool about you. Yeah, Jesse, the lawnmower. When you do that, sometimes the true mind kicks in and you don't even know. Huh? And you think you're wasting time. No. Yeah? So, how does it work? If you know you have a true mind, would you want to learn how to use your true mind? Let me tell you how it works. The true mind cannot kick in because of your ego. It's your ego who says, me first. Sound familiar? I'm numero uno. I'm number one. Okay? So that is your false mind says, I'm important. Sound familiar? Okay? Me. Sound familiar? Huh? My happiness. Sound familiar? My success. Sound familiar? That is your ego speaking. And therefore, the false mind, the ego is attached to the false mind. It manifests itself through the false mind. So people who are egotistical, okay, because they are controlled by the false mind. Too much thinking, we put it in our world. Too much thinking. You're too relying upon your thinking mind. If you could just let go of your thinking mind, the true mind, then this is what happened. Here's a true mind. Here's your false mind. And the true mind, you guessed it, is like me, very humble. Excuse me. Don't laugh like you are so bad. Okay. So what happened is that this true mind here, its nature is humility. It never fights, it doesn't fight. In contrast, the false mind is not humble and it likes to fight. He says, me, I'm first. I want to go first. And the true mind doesn't fight. So he says, okay, you go. I wait for you. What happened is that in your daily life, the true mind says, okay, me first. Okay, I want this, I want that. This is important to me, me. Okay? And that's your true mind. Okay? And then when the true mind says, okay, I don't know what to do. And then I say, okay, I need a break. That's when this guy comes in to the fore. See? And then this guy, wait, I'm in control. And it goes back. That's how it works. So if you want to compose music, you use this is how you function. You always use your thinking mind. Say, let me think of something. Okay? The greatest composition from Beethoven, from Mozart, is when? You realize that? Because it's out of this world. Yeah? If you're like this, then you are bound by this world's parameters. This is all you can think, you can see. But if you let go, and this guy takes over, it's not bound anymore. So it's capable of reaching out to further than your own limited ego. That's all you can imagine. That's why you are limiting yourself. And the only way for you to get out is pull back. Okay? Let this take over. That's how it works. Yes, Andres, number 5 de Mayo.
So if I want to learn a new skill, don't I have to use the thinking mind at least at first to learn the skill?
Absolutely. Thinking mind is important. The thinking mind is what we need. That's the best way to communicate with others. Okay? You relate, the thinking mind has to relate to the thinking mind. That's how you get close. Imagine that your thinking mind wants to only get close to your true mind. And remember, the true mind is always hidden somewhere. So how is your thinking mind going to find my true mind? Because I'm hidden behind here to my ego. How do you connect to my true mind? So what happens to us is that the false mind connect with each other. So the false mind is important for life. And we connect, it's with the false mind. It's better to connect with your thinking mind. Okay? So that's where you have protocols, cultural, etiquette, and so forth. Customs, okay? That thinking mind. Next. 3. Today we will use Espanol because it's 5 de Mayo. And after this, we'll go have cerveza. Alma likes it. He said, I can't wait. Yes, sir. 3.
Uno questione, numero uno.
Okay.
Let me see.
Forgot already.
I'm stuck already.
Yeah. You can ask.
Thinking mind and wisdom. Thinking mind, it seems like it's predictive. It is what's going on in your brain. It's almost like when you perceive a thought or you start thinking on a subject, you can almost hear the jingle from Final Jeopardy,
Yeah. That's the thinking mind, yeah.
Whereas wisdom,
for me, it's endless with music.
when you attain wisdom, It just is. You can't explain.
You just know. Yeah, it just comes.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's it. Those are the moments. When you meditate, it becomes clearer to you. Ordinary people, they cannot tell. The flip-flop like this is too fast for them. But when we meditate, we can learn how to flip it. When we wish to, and we don't wish to, let go. And this guy will take over. This is a guy who is very egotistical. He wants to be number one. So you don't have to do anything, okay? This is automatic. But if you want this to go back, you learn the skill to flip like this. That's all you do. That's Chan. Okay? Anyone can do this. Even men can do it. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. So when we are in samadhi, does your ego hide or is it in hold?
The ego is only suspended. But actually, it still manifests itself. At lower levels, the ego is still there, but actually it's much more subdued. So it seems like it's inactive. Actually, it's still active, but you cannot see it. So your false mind, your thinking mind, has many layers. So when you go into samadhi, you go like this. You cannot see your thoughts anymore, but actually it's still active. That's what happens. Chan, we're very precise. We know what the heck is going on. Okay? And you will find out yourself. All of you. Naturally, eventually. Okay? Bueno. Okay, so inconceivable is the ocean of sentient beings' thoughts. We generate boundless thoughts every day. That's the kind of mental energy we are spending. Every day, we spend so much energy thinking. You see, ocean of sentient. Each thought here requires energy to produce. And we are producing an ocean of thoughts every day. Many thoughts. Okay? And multiplied by that by the countless sentient beings. So the Buddha says, wow, this is inconceivable. This is incredible. You can never imagine. Even like for this limited number of people here today, if you can count the thoughts generated in each and every one of you, and get a penny for it, you'll be billionaires. Ching, ching, ching. All right? If you can find a way to turn your thoughts into dollars, boy, are we going to be rich? When you go, you have to think big, gentlemen. Don't go for small. Okay? And so, and they are without the thoughts, actually are without dwelling, without movement, or a place to rely. Okay? It turns out our thoughts are without dwelling, meaning that it has nowhere to go back to. Once you have a thought, where does it go? Does it go home? Well, after this, you have home, right? You go home. After a lecture, well, eventually you go home. Okay? The thoughts, when you produce a thought, where does it go? There's nowhere to go. Yes, sir. Cinco.
It goes into the world.
Thoughts go into the world.
Yeah.
And then what happens to it?
They become things.
Thoughts become things. Correct. Okay. And then what?
And things break down and they become other things.
So therefore it's without dwelling.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning it doesn't stay anywhere. What you're telling me, thoughts goes and go and go and go and go and disappear and come and go round, right?
Probably.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And movement, thoughts without movement. You think thoughts are moving? The Buddha says, actually, your thoughts are not moving. Okay? Place where you lie. Of course, thoughts just go. Okay? Don't worry. Don't try to understand. You see, that's why it's, okay, as soon as you try to understand this, like morality, every weekend morality, it gets harder and harder for me to follow these people. Yes, 9.
Emitofuo, Master, I don't want to ask intellectual question, but...
What happened? You gave up?
but I'm curious.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the Western world say that thought is produced in the brain.
Yeah.
It's just a physical brain thing.
Yes.
Is Buddhism believe in that way, or is thoughts are outside of physical reality?
Yeah, it has a physical characteristics. That's why you can see it on the MRI scans and the brain scans. Those are the measure, it manifests physically in forms of neurons moving around. Okay, transmission of neurons, so forth. Okay, and those are actually the physical realities of our thoughts. Okay, but those thoughts are produced by the brains. That's what they're able to measure. Okay. What the scientists have not been able to measure is the thoughts from your true mind. They don't believe there's a true mind anyway, so how on earth are you going to try to measure it? Okay, so for now, we are limited to studying the false mind, and we probably will never be able to understand the false mind the way we go about it. Okay, let alone try to think about the true mind. Yeah, the false mind can be measured, but when you have some skills, you can mess up those machines. I assure you. That's why I chuckled when many in the past, when I first started learning about Chan, about meditation, I used to be impressed by the Tibetan monks who made a fuss about it with the scientists. I remember reading about on PBS, watching on PBS, hearing about the fact there was a Tibetan monk, a Caucasian Tibetan monk, who was a monk under the Dalai Lama for about 15, 20 years. And looking back, he's about second dhyana after 15, 20 years. He's white. What do you expect? Geez? What do you mean, geez? Just kidding. You guys are so racist. If you're not racist, it's okay. You catch you every single time. You say, oh, Master's racist. No, you racist. She is racist. Okay, so the funny thing to me is that the guy was enlisted by some neuro research medical professionals, okay, doctors, whatever, researchers, and they put him under an MRI machine to scan his brains, okay, and so they measured it. And they've graphed it, so they said that this is how the brain functions and so forth. And they saw that his brains, the brain scan for this guy, second dhyana guy, is different from the brain scans of ordinary people. Meaning what? Different in what way? Less lit than a regular person's mind. Meaning the person's mind thinks too much, that's why it's going crazy over here. But this guy's mind is a lot less colored than the regular person. So he thinks less. than this guy, than a regular person. So the higher you are, the little less thinking you have, your brain becomes. What is thinking? Affliction, thoughts of affliction. You see, you're afflicted, therefore your mind is activated. Okay? Ordinary people are so afflicted. They keep on thinking and thinking and thinking. Whereas when you learn meditation, you learn to slow down your thinking and thinking. That's why your brain activity slows down. When you meditate. When you don't meditate, it goes back up here. So you have a choice. Okay? When you're like this, when you work, your work is very inefficient because a lot of your work is distracted by many of your afflictions. Make sense? See? You're working, oh, I feel like a cup of coffee, but then after a cup of coffee, you feel like, well, maybe something, the mantra be good, and so forth. And you get on and on and on right here. Whereas if you're able to enter samadhi, then you have fewer thoughts, and now you can really concentrate on your work. That's the difference. Then eventually you get better, you learn to stop it, and then your true mind now takes over. You're no longer bound by your limitations. Okay, so it's not possible for scientists to deal with the true mind, not the way they're going about it. So forget it. It's not possible. Okay? And so if you were to scan the true mind, the MRI machine will go crazy. It doesn't know what. There's no reference. That's why. Anyone else? So this is way beyond science. Okay? Because science depends on the limited mind's imagination. Okay, so the mind is the true mind is without dwelling, doesn't move at all. So it doesn't move. How are you going to scan? How are you going to color it? And doesn't depend on your brains either. You take out the brain, still the true mind still works. So where are you going to scan? Yes, sir. We're going to call you Cinco.
Technically, wouldn't the false mind work without a brain also? The false mind works without a brain?
The false mind works without a brain. No, cannot work without brains.
Then how would we turn into like ghosts or keep our karma after?
Why would you want to turn into a ghost?
Well,
I don't get it.
I'm just saying.
You don't like your life?
If you were to die, you keep your karma, and wouldn't the karma kind of be the false mind?
Well, when you die, it's a different ball game. Never mind. Not to worry about the current game you have. These are the cards you dealt with. This is what you learn to deal with. You cannot control your death. And you have no control after you die either. It's way beyond you. Way beyond us. So there's no point in going there. Stick to your Mozart mind. That's what you have. Death is an entirely different game.
Okay, I was also thinking that.
You want to die?
No. So thoughts are really unlimited, huh? You can there's just more and more and more and more and more.
Endless.
Until
we run out of energy. You know, for example, I met people who are very intellectual, very brainy, They think and think and think. They're proud of it. They keep on thinking and thinking. And by the end of their lives, they develop what? Alzheimer's. They can't remember anymore because the brain is worn out.
Yeah, my grandma had that.
Well, I don't think your grandma thinks that much.
She's dead.
She did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So energy turns into thought. So all our energies just go into thought.
Yeah, it's too complicated. Don't go there.
So it's just waste of energy.
Yes, don't worry about energy becoming thought, so forth. Just learn to control your thoughts. Then eventually understand more naturally. That's a way to go. When you try to go from the other end, energy becomes thought, so forth, you won't get there. The scientific approach is nonsense. It will not be able to understand thoughts that way. It has to go from the spiritual side, okay? Because spiritual side understand thoughts, how thoughts are formed, whereas scientifically, there's no way for you to measure it. So depending on which end you choose to analyze this and study it, the scientific way will never make it, never. Very much like, again, this is not a commercial or criticism. The same way, we understand that. You understand? If you think about mind and thoughts, it's a spiritual side. It's way beyond science. Science will never be able to catch up with it because science is based on the wrong model. Okay? Similarly, with automatic autonomous driving, okay, you'll never be able to achieve full autonomous driving. That's impossible because that requires you to be able to replicate your thinking mind. That's impossible. No programmer is that smart, okay? Because your thinking mind here, remember, what happens to your thinking mind? How are you going to program this? Huh? I ask you. If you believe this, you buy into this model, how are you going to program something you cannot see? You have no idea how it works. And this is how we live. We flip-flop constantly. This is what's so cool about you. You're capable of so many things that you don't allow yourself the chance to experience this because you're too intellectual, you're too smart. You see? Smart people say, hey, I am in control of my life because I can think, I can measure, I can reason with anything. Yes? Work up to this extent. But even with these people, the smart people, the intellect, the professors, I met very many professors who are geniuses. They still do this, and they aren't aware of this phase of their minds. How? If you don't see this, how are you going to program this? You see, physically, it's impossible to replace your mind. Impossible. How are you going to program it? So, what's his name? Musk. Musk is a lousy scammer. It will never happen. All those programmers who try to do autonomous driving and so forth, basically, they will never make it. Never. Because of this. Yes, 3.
Oh, yes, Master. This is something that's relating to this question that you just pondered. How are you going to do that? What would you develop to be able to measure it? And it seems like I'm noticing now on a lot of texts, on news feeds and storylines and so forth, you can tell that it's AI generated now.
Yes.
Because suddenly they are not using complete terminology, complete words. They have those really weird little punctuation marks in place of the complete word, substituting some letters for these. And I'm wondering if it was ever attempted, that's what would happen here. They would essentially try to invent a different language to describe it, and then it's not going to be in the hands of most humans because we won't be able to figure it out.
They can never replace us, I assure you, never. They can replace us up to a certain point, but they can never replace our creativity and our smarts, never. Any of you, okay, all of you are endowed with your true mind. If you learn how to use it, okay, they can never replace you, never. It doesn't matter how much they invest in, in artificial intelligence, in whatever, they will never make it. They will always be limited. They can never replace you. They're useful. There are things, for example, repetitive tasks, doesn't require a lot of intelligence. Yes, they can replace us. But in terms of originality, okay, in terms of spontaneity, okay, they can never replace us. And that's what, you see, you ask the women, that's why they find us so cute. We're so spontaneous. It's so silly. No? Not true? Oh, women. The women here are too serious. Yes, JMT.
그러면 진실한 마음은 두뇌를 벗어나는 것입니까?
Master, then true mind is beyond the brain?
Yes. Your true mind, not that true mind. Your true mind. Okay? You have it. You're like this. Remember? You're like this. Everyone is like this, constantly. All of us. Not just me. All of us are like this. The difference between you and the advanced Chan practitioner is that they control this. You don't know how to control this. So they can say, oh, shut up. Let me go to work. And when they're done, hi, dear. Oh, lovely smell. What is that? This is why it makes it so cute. we choose to be cute. Now you know the secret of masculine charm. The Koreans don't find it funny. They're so serious, the Koreans. They say, oh, my God. Okay? Next. 578. In a single thought, the Buddha sees it with total clarity. The God, wonderful adornment, understands this well.
佛于一念皆明见，妙庄严天思善了。
This is really will blow your mind. You see, it says, the ocean of sentient beings' thought. Buddhas can see all of that. Believe. Yeah, poor Jesse. Wait. Let me see what. Let me understand this. Okay. Are you saying, yeah? Okay. The Buddha sees it with total clarity. How? Andres gave up already. He said, this is too much for me. Okay? How? What's the principle behind it? How can he see with total clarity the oceans, inconceivable oceans of sentient beings, thoughts? How is it possible? Yes, cinco.
Because he has no false mind of his own blocking him from seeing everything. So he's just the pure awareness that just knows. So he just knows everything.
Can you?
No. Not now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. There you go. That's my boy. Anyone else? How? How can a Buddha see it with total clarity? And that, see, when the God, wonderful dormant, understands its what means what? He almost there. If Buddha sees 100%, he sees how much to you? At least 90%, 95%. That's why I'm telling you, these guys are big shots. They're huge. Don't think it's a casual thing. They're very, very big shots. He says, that's why he says, I can see 95%. I know how difficult to go the remaining 5%. That's what he's implying. He said, I got to praise this. You guys, you wouldn't believe this. Okay? Especially Catholics. They would never be able to buy into this. That Buddhas can see all our thoughts with total clarity. How is it possible? Let me ask you. How? How is it he can do it, but not the God, wonderful adornment? What's the difference? Anyone? Go for it. Come on, guys, this is important.
Emitofuo.
Okay?
So when Buddha can feel whatever sentient being thinking.
Same thing being thinking, same as you?
One substance theory that when you get enlightened, you are one with everyone.
Does it mean he knows you?
Yes.
What about the guy next to you? Does he know him? No. The Buddha says, no, I don't know him at all. How about Lloyd next to him? I said, Buddha says, Lloyd is too much. Okay, that's men's side. How about women? Women that go forth. Buddha says, I give up. You can tell that the Republicans at Go Forth are very sexist.
They're all Republicans.
They're all Republicans. Okay, so how? What's the only way for you to know what your wife is thinking? Let's hear from a celibate person. Single.
You'd have to be her to know what she's thinking.
You have to be her.
So then the Buddha is us, our true nature.
Exactly. Right? You see, it takes a single man to understand women. You have it's not bad. Yeah, I think impressive, huh? You should have no problem finding a woman. Oh God, I joke too much. I'm going to get in trouble one of these days, unless it's too late. The only way for the Buddha to know what's in her mind, his mind, is that he's all of us. It's the only way. That's what we said is one substance. We are part of him. So that's why don't think that we should stop picking on the Catholics. They're part of us eventually. They don't know it, that's all. But when you become a Buddha says, oops, that's a Catholic part of me. It's right there. against a pillar. Who's screaming, says, these Buddhists are crazy. They believe anything. And Buddha says, yeah, I know what you're thinking about. Yeah, that's me. Okay? Is that clear? That's the only way. Buddha is us, all of us. We're part of the Buddha. Yes, 8. That's why we should look at each other as brothers and sisters, husbands and wives, you name it.
Thank you, Master. Diego says, in a single thought, it means that the Buddhas need to jump into the thinking mind for understanding the totality of those thoughts because it's part of the Dharma realm?
No, he's simply us. We are him. Okay? He's the totality of us is him. So that's why it's very much like our bodies. If this finger moves, we know it's moving, yeah? We don't have to look. We know it's moving. That's all. Because it's us. And this God, wonderful adornment, understands it well. Okay? Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master. I have another comment here from Kenix.
Yes.
She says, the Buddha uses his Buddha eye.
Yes, that's correct. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the end of it. Next is the third dhyana heaven. That's the third heaven above us. Okay, it's called the Suyama heavens. Why is it called Suyama? Suyama heavens because this is suspended in space, and up there, okay, it's there's no sun. It's higher than the sun. The sunlight cannot reach it. Okay, so how can you tell night from day? There are celestial beings. They get up, they sleep at night, and they get up in the morning like us. Okay, they may be gods, but unlike Daniel was told, what he was told, the gods also sleep and eat. And they have wives, and they have children, and so forth. Okay? And that's how it is up there. And you learn more later in this sutra, Avatamsaka Sutra. Eventually, if we get to it, and so you need to have a way to tell time in this heaven. So how do you tell time? See, second is our heaven, where his Christian God is, where Daniel's Christian God lives. Okay, it's still sunlight reaches it, so it requires no special mechanism. But on the third dhyana heaven, it's much higher, so the sunlight cannot reach it. So how do you tell time? What? You don't know? Oh, this is why it's ingenious. The science of the heavenly science is way beyond our imagination. The lotus flower opening and closing. Light, day, night. Time to go to bed, time to get up. That's how. Sunrise. See, this is sunrise. Something that the Christian would never find out. See, in this third heaven here, daylight, dusk, sunset, yeah? ZZ time. Isn't that cool? All right? Okay, let's go through these 10 representative celestial kings, shall we? Okay. 581. Moreover, celestial king time division, gain a passage into liberation of helping all sentient beings' good roots grow, forever delivering them from worry and distress.
复赐十分天王，得发起一切众生善根，令永离烦恼、忧恼解脱门。
When you see the president, Peter, were you at the White House or when you helped your dad, right? You saw President Obama or no? 3.
Gracias, Master.
De nada.
Yeah. Mi papa is not there.
No S. It's not there.
Yeah, my dad
Use a
wasn't.
complete sentence. Come on. Daniel, help him out. Mi papa, 什么? Okay? Help him. Come on, be useful.
No está allí. Mi papá no está allí.
Okay. He's doing it on purpose.
Thank you, Master. My dad wasn't there. I worked with President Obama directly by myself.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Wow. So you got to see him?
Multiple times, one-on-one, yeah.
So he's tall or he's short? On TV, he looks pretty tall.
Well, this is 2008, 2009.
Hey guys, I'm bragging, so bear with me, okay? I have a disciple who worked with President Obama. Yeah, right. So 2008, 2009, I see.
Yes.
And he's taller than you or shorter than you?
No, he was shorter than me. I'm about 6'4" with my shoes on, so he's like 6'4".
You wear high heels, I see.
Yeah, but he was really healthy. He didn't have a lot of weight, so he looks tall on camera.
Okay, continue.
So you're asking what it was like to meet him in person?
What?
What's the question, Master?
I forgot. we just bragging, that's all.
Yeah. It was humbling to meet him in person.
Oh yeah. When you see when you saw President Obama, okay, back then, the attitude changed, right? When you're working and then when President Obama came up, just yes or no?
Absolutely, I think
you stiffen up, right?
Yeah, your world changes immediately.
That's right. The attitude changes. This is why we do this you understand? Because it says a big shot is speaking. It's a protocol. You do that, this mere fact of doing this, you're creating tremendous blessings. Very much like when he became respectful and attentive, okay? Enable him to continue to work for President Obama and get to see him more. If he was how long do you think he would last? Got my point? Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I would also share, there's encountering a president in their delegation when you literally have SWAT members with fully automatic weapons like 6 inches from you while you're interviewing him. And then there's also...
Really? They stand next to you to make sure you make the wrong move? They shoot you or something?
Well, and then I'm the lucky guy who's got the camera pointing at the president.
I see.
Watching me do it. It was a little nerve-wracking.
I see.
There's also the moments where I was running the teleprompter for President Obama, and when you're doing that, you're looking at the screen that his eyes are going into, and so when he missed a line or he got frustrated, you're making direct eye contact with the most powerful person in the world getting frustrated with you.
I see.
Which is humbling. But I would also share that the opportunity I had to work with him literally in a room by myself.
By yourself?
Yeah, just myself.
How did it happen? How could they trust you?
My mentor who had worked in politics.
See, guys, notice. Catholic Daniel was so impressed. He said, really? He's close, he's inches away from the president? Yeah, you Catholic.
Yeah, my mentor had kind of thrown me a bone and said, okay, I can't go do this, so we'll send Peter. And you walk up to the front gates of the White House and they let you in and everybody's looking at you like, what the heck? And then you go through multiple layers of security, which I won't get into.
And what did they do to you?
He says, oh, hi, Peter. How's it going? Which is humbling in and of itself. But
so they stripped you?
Oh, the security part?
Yeah.
The first part is the dogs.
They sniffed you. Oh!
And I love German Shepherds, but they are highly trained dogs.
Oh, they use German Shepherds?
Yeah.
Wow. They're not like poodles or anything they use.
Yeah. No Chihuahuas are involved in the security. But I think working with him one-on-one was special, but I think the most special was seeing him when he was with Michelle. And it was myself and Mr. Obama and Michelle Obama, and then a producer, and it was just the four of us, or maybe one more person in a room doing an interview, and they were there's no one around to prove anything to at that point.
So they're very relaxed.
They're very relaxed, and they were very happy with each other, and it was just inspiring.
It's not an act.
If they did not like each other, they had no one there to fool or to prove anything to. And
you were there.
Sure. At that point, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice to be able to see them in private moments. It's kind of cool to see that they put all the guards down.
It's super humbling, and thank you for the opportunity to share it, because I just, as our country's going through what it's going, and as we're talking about celestial kings of time division, I think it's important to say that there's really good people who take on these roles, and I've had the privilege to encounter them and share that.
Yes.
Genuinely.
Yes. Yes. Believe, do the right things. There are a lot of people out there who are doing the right things. Don't worry, it's the bad actors who are getting all the attention and the press coverage. But actually, there are many more good people who are quietly doing the jobs. I got stopped by the patrolman, and I was so impressed by their attitude, by their value system. They just believe in doing the right thing, even when in stopping me, which kind of sucks. But
it's real, and
yes.
There's people whose interest is not just in making America greedy, angry, and stupid.
Oh, great, whatever. I just want to live a decent life.
Yeah,
a decent human being.
And even giving back a little bit,
And I saw and that cop who threatened to give me a ticket, but ended up not giving me one. That's why I still remember him. He's so decent. I knew that he was Christian or Catholic. He had to be. The Buddhists would not have that kind of attitude. Thank you for sharing it with us. Really, in spite of all the bad news out there are plenty of good people working behind the scenes. Okay, and this is what I like about this country. Those people don't draw any attention. That's why they get maybe 5 minutes of fame in their entire lives. Peter got to work with the President of the United States. I mean, that's on our behalf, the entire temples. Okay, a Korean YouTube question.
네, 진뽕님의 질문입니다. 나에게 일어나는 나쁜 마음, 미워하고 부정적인 마음을 일어날 때마다 부처님께 모두 바친다는 생각으로 염해도 괜찮은가요? 그러면 잠깐 동안 집착에서 벗어나 마음이 편안해집니다. 이것이 괜찮은가요? 부처님께는 좋은 생각만을 바쳐야 되지 않을까요? 그리고 하나 더 질문이 있는데 다른 질문이라 그 다음에 다시 질문 드리겠습니다.
So, Master, I have certain bad minds. It's hatred and negative thoughts. Whenever I have this kind of thoughts, I consider that I will offer this to Buddha. And I recite in my mind. So if I do that, for a moment, my attachment is released, and then I feel peaceful. Is that okay? Because we have to, do we have to offer Buddha's good things, good thoughts, instead of giving the negative thoughts?
That's a tough one. All of my disciples only have good thoughts. What? Why are you laughing? Not true? Mama, you have good thoughts or no? She has to think. Huh? So what do you think? It never happened to me. I never had any bad thoughts. What do you do when you have bad thoughts? Xin.
Offer it to people who wants to listen to it. Just kidding.
Just kidding. Master Z, what do you do when you have a bad thought?
Master, I basically just ignore.
Just ignore. Master O Abbott, what do you do when you have a bad thought?
Mình làm lơ để nó làm gì?
Very good. Okay, very good. I'm glad you asked the questions. If I don't think that most of you have this problem, only a few people in Korea would have this problem. So let's address this Korean problem, shall we? Okay? When a bad thought arises, okay, what do? You learn through your Chan training to ignore. A thought arises, that's a bad thought, you recognize, like I want to say kill someone, okay? The bad thought arises, I want to kill someone. You do nothing, they will die. So far so good, that's what happens to your thoughts. After you practice meditation long enough, you begin to see it clearly. A thought comes up, and it dies. Comes up, and it dies. Comes up, and it dies. So you don't have to do anything at all. So the answer is correct. Okay. What her question is about, suppose the same thought arises, I want to kill him, I want to strangle him, I want to maim him, I want to shoot him, I want to torture him. Oops. It's too Catholic, sorry, okay. Let's do it again. Okay, so what if the same thought arises constantly? Non-stop. What do? Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, if it's the same thought arises constantly, then it's an attachment.
Yes, correct. So the point here, the answer to her question is that if there's some bad thoughts, if you can ignore them, they will die. Don't have to do anything. But if the same thought arises, okay, now she can do what she does. So you don't have to keep on jumping, Amitabha Buddha, oh, Wanyin Bodhisattva, oh, Ursa Bodhisattva, oh, Master Shenhua, oh. Because when you recite, you're reacting to it. You recite, you're reacting to it. However, if it's the same thought, let's kill him, let's murder him, let's poison him. That is nastiness. It requires special attention. Then that's when you recite Buddha's name, recite mantras and so forth. You say, no, okay, Emitofuo, Emitofuo, because you are squashing it with Emitofuo, okay? Because it keeps on coming. It's an attachment. So when you recite Emitofuo, 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 okay, let's kill him, Emitofuo. Let's kill her, Emitofuo. Okay, so you are killing, you're nipping it with Emitofuo. Instead of doing nothing, actually, if it's repetitive, you see a pattern there, you can recite something, then it has the effect of nipping it, okay? And it will reduce the frequency. Does it help, Kaylan? Okay, yes, Daniel. 7.
Okay, I have a question.
5 minutos más.
I have a question. Is it every time you have a bad thought in Buddhism, is that considered like an offense, automatically offense, or is not an offense, but just having the thoughts? Even if you repent of the thought, will you still be is considered like an offense?
Yes, it's a mental offense. That's it? What do you Catholics do about it?
Well, I don't know about other Catholics, but for me, I would just usually I just ignore the thoughts. If something is really bothering me, I pray the rosary or pray or listen to.
You pray to Buddha then?
No. Or sometimes I would just listen to Catholic music. Or if I'm feeling like very aggressive, I listen to metal music or something. But I do something, if it's something that I cannot control, beyond my control, my thoughts, I do something about that. But for the most part, I just ignore it.
So when your girlfriend yells at you, how do you deal with it? She keeps yelling, You are impossible. How can you be like that? I thought you were a nice person, but you really are not a nice person. What do you do? How do you deal with it?
For the most part, I just stay quiet.
Yes, honey. Yes, dear. I love you. Very good. That's the antidote. Next time, try Emitofuo, Emitofuo, Emitofuo. It fixes her anger so much quicker. You're welcome. Okay, we'll come back to this. Corinne still have a question. Oh, good Lord. Go ahead, Korea.
네. 이게 주제가 바뀌는 질문이 될 것 같아서 조금 이따 다시 하겠습니다.
주제가 아닌 것 같아서 조금 이따 하신다고요?
끝나가니까 그냥 할까요?
네, 하세요.
네.
괜찮을 것 같아요.
네, 같은 진복님의 질문입니다. 진복님의 질문이고요. 영화 마스터님의 법문이 처음에는 꿀물같이 들렸어요. 그러나 요즘에는 자꾸 나를 경책하는 소리로 들립니다. 이것은 무엇 때문인가요?
Master, when I first heard your Dharma talk, it felt like your Dharma talk was like honeydew. But these days, I feel like you're warning me, giving me warnings. Why is it like that?
Giving warnings? I apologize. I was in a bad mood.
죄송합니다. 제가 기분이 안
It happens. If you have as many disciples as I do, it happens sometimes. See, they're leaving early too. Look at that. Giving me warnings? No. Since when do I give warnings? Is that how you feel too? Do I give warnings? I threaten you or what? Anyone feels that way? Be specific, okay? Come back. Cite specific moments. Give me the specific words or give me some examples, okay? Because I have a hard time dealing with generalities. I'm easier for me to deal with this. Why do you yell at me at that moment? Then I can understand it better. Okay? Keep it simple for me, please. Okay? Can I postpone this to next time? Thank you, everyone.